Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Find out more later on. Hey, 42 here. In early 1848, a humble carpenter by the name of James Marshall made a discovery that would change the course of American history. He was working on a water-powered lumber mill in what was soon to become California for pioneer John Sutter, when he saw it. The merest glimpse of twinkling metal tucked away in the bucket of the mill's water wheel. It was a nugget of solid gold. Demonstrating either remarkable honesty or baffling stupidity, depending on how well your moral compass is functioning today, Marshall immediately took that lump of gold to his boss. To begin with, Sutter tried to keep the discovery quiet, but it was only a matter of time before people began to talk. And within a matter of months, stories of gold in Sutter's Creek had spread like herpes in a mining camp. One of the first men to react to the news was San Franciscan entrepreneur Sam Brannan, who traveled to Sutter's Creek, snagged himself a vial filled with gold, then headed back to San Francisco, where he walked the streets with the vial held high above his head, announcing to the world that there was gold in the American River. Fast forward a few months to June 1848, and 3/4 of San Francisco's male population had left for the gold mines. A year later, the number of settlers in California had exploded from 400 to 90,000. You might think finding a river full of gold on your property is just about the luckiest thing that could ever happen. But by 1852, just 4 years later, Sutter was bankrupt. His farm had been invaded by prospectors, and all his livestock was stolen. Sam Brannan, on the other hand, was making $5,000 a day. That's about $180,000 a day in today's money, and was soon to become California's first millionaire and the state's richest man. And all that despite never digging for an ounce of gold. Instead, before sparking the frenzy that became the Great California Gold Rush, Brannan had invested in mining equipment and selling it during the ensuing frenzy at exorbitant prices. Now, if you love traveling, then you'll love the fastest and easiest VPN, Surfshark. Did you know Surfshark helps you to avoid price discrimination based on your location? So you can save money on plane tickets and car rentals whilst traveling. Surfshark runs on any device, anywhere, and it's packed full of features such as industry-leading uncrackable encryption, IP and DNS leak protection, an internet kill switch if your VPN drops out, and 24/7 customer support. By using Surfshark VPN, you can stay anonymous and secure online. Personally, I use Surfshark to watch Netflix content from other countries, such as the US, that's usually blocked here in the UK. It's so easy, all I have to do is switch over my location settings, and there I have it, access to all my favorite programs. Surfshark maintains a strict no-logs policy, and their network of 3,200 servers in over 65 countries runs 100% on RAM, so they couldn't log your data even if they wanted to. By using code 42, you will benefit from an 83% discount, plus 3 extra months for free. All you have to do is click the special link in the description below. Don't miss out. In a gold rush, it's seldom the miners who make the real money. It's the people selling the idea. 170 years on, and not much has changed. Except now, the gold rush has gone digital. Instead of mining for metal, people are mining cryptocurrency. Since the launch of Bitcoin in 2009, cryptocurrencies have gradually transformed from being things that geeks use to buy pizza to financial instruments that are being taken seriously by big tech and world governments. It's been one hell of a rollercoaster ride, and if you were lucky enough to have been on board from the beginning, you're now probably very, very rich. If you bought 10 Bitcoins in 2010, the most you would have paid was $3.90. Today, those coins would be worth almost $500,000. It's statistics like these that have created a crypto craze amongst certain investors looking for big returns. But just like in the California gold rush, for every crypto investor who made a fortune, many more have ended up out of pocket. And just like in the gold rush, the people who rake in the big cash are usually the ones who create the demand. That's why there are more than 9,000 active cryptocurrencies in circulation. All over the place, 21st century Sam Brannans are parading digital glass bottles they say are full of gold. Unsurprisingly, with so many people desperately hoping to be amongst the early adopters of the next big thing, the number of crypto scams has risen dramatically in recent years too. Some of these are dodgy startups, whilst others are fake initial coin offerings, or ICOs. An ICO is used by new crypto projects to raise the cash they need to get going. In exchange for their money, early investors receive tokens in the project. If that project is successful, those tokens could be worth huge sums of money in the future. But of course, if the ICO is a scam, you'll never see your hard-earned dollars again. Amit Lakhanpal, founder of Money Trade Coin, is alleged to have knowingly run a fake ICO, defrauding investors out of an eye-watering $71 million. In another scheme in Taiwan, 1,000 investors were defrauded out of $51 million. Whilst in Canada, authorities seized luxury cars and froze bank accounts owned by the ringleaders of Factual, an allegedly fraudulent $22 million ICO from 2017. As ballsy as these coins are, they don't hold a digital candle to the one run by Ruya Ignatova, self-styled crypto queen and creator of the biggest cryptocurrency scam in history, OneCoin. Launched in 2014, OneCoin lured in hundreds of thousands of eager buyers, with promises of revolutionizing the crypto industry and making millionaires out of everyone who was smart enough to invest early. By the middle of 2017, OneCoin had reached 175 countries and was estimated to have attracted as much as £12 billion of investment from around 1 million people. Ignatova was the rockstar front for the operation. Oxford educated and once a financial consultant for the highly respected management consultancy McKinsey, Ignatova seemed to have the credibility to back her grand claims that OneCoin would soon make Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies obsolete. She toured the world, filling stadiums with evangelical investors convinced that OneCoin was the future of world finance and their ticket to extraordinary wealth. Every step of the way, Ignatova projected an image of success, wearing expensive gowns and covering herself in diamonds. Tom Jones even sang at her birthday party. But then, in October 2017, at the height of her fame, she vanished. That was more than 4 years ago, and she hasn't been seen or heard from since. As is normally the case when people go missing, the authorities have been scouring the planet for the crypto queen. But Ruya Ignatova is far more than just another face on a milk carton. She's wanted by the FBI and has been charged by US authorities for wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. And this isn't even her first time. In 2012, she was convicted of fraud in Germany, and in 2013, she was part of a major crypto scam called Bitcoin. You'd think that might have rung a few alarm bells during the whole OneCoin thing, but apparently not. In the time since Ruya's disappearance, her brother and right-hand man in the OneCoin operation, Konstantin Ignatov, was arrested. Since then, he's pleaded guilty to money laundering and fraud. It turns out that, far from being a revolutionary new digital currency, OneCoin was just a good old-fashioned Ponzi scheme, dressed up in sexy clothes. One of the things that made OneCoin so appealing to so many people was that it seemed so simple. Cryptocurrency can seem pretty confusing to the uninitiated. But with OneCoin, all investors had to do was transfer some cash, and in return, they'd receive some OneCoin in a personal online account. According to Ignatova, this process wasn't just easier than buying and owning Bitcoin, it was safer too. And for those reasons, she prophesied that the value of OneCoin would only increase. She was right. Any OneCoin investor watching their online account between 2014 and 2017 would have seen the value of their investment rising rapidly. Exciting stuff! But unfortunately for those investors, also total bullshit. If you want to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other credible cryptocurrency, you usually do it on one of the big crypto exchanges. Just like on the stock market, where share prices go up and down according to fluctuations in supply and demand, the price you pay for a cryptocurrency at any point in time is determined by the mystical operations of free market economics. If a cryptocurrency builds trust and credibility, its price can be expected to increase over time as investors jump aboard, which is exactly what OneCoin investors believed was happening to their currency. What they didn't know, however, was that the price of OneCoin wasn't linked to anything. Despite promises to the contrary, OneCoin couldn't be traded anywhere outside the OneCoin system, so it had no market value, and couldn't even be exchanged for cash. The price of OneCoin was meaningless. It was just a number invented by someone sitting at a computer in the company's head office in Sofia, Bulgaria. OneCoin investors believed they were making thousands, even millions of dollars on their initial investment. In reality, that investment was long gone. It turns out OneCoin wasn't really a cryptocurrency at all. It wasn't even based on blockchain technology. It was essentially a pet project running on a bunch of servers in the OneCoin head office in Sofia. Eventually, some people started to question whether OneCoin was really everything it claimed to be, but by then it had morphed into some kind of cult, and those inside simply weren't interested in hearing anything that questioned Ignatova's message. People who owned OneCoin were convinced they were part of a family, and any outsider who questioned the currency was a hater who was jealous of having missed the boat. The system of indoctrination worked so well because the OneCoin craze was fueled by multi-level marketing, where participants make commission by selling a product on to their friends and family, who in turn sell to their friends and family, and so on. If you're thinking pyramid scheme, you're pretty much there. Ruya Ignatova got some of the world's top multi-level marketers to promote OneCoin, and the network grew incredibly fast. The ensuing buzz made sure that investors eager to cash in on the opportunity asked fewer questions and brought into the fake gold rush hook, line, and sinker. According to journalist Jamie Bartlett, who uncovered the story, OneCoin was more like a religion than an investment opportunity. Those who asked too many questions were threatened with expulsion from the OneCoin family and the loss of their investment. But by the middle of 2017, no amount of hush-hush could prevent the net from closing in around Ignatova. The FBI was preparing to arrest her, but it appears she got wind of the plan in advance. Because towards the end of that year, on the day she was due to attend an event in Lisbon, she boarded a plane for Athens and simply disappeared. Of course, she didn't leave empty-handed. According to court documents and witness testimonies, Ignatova made off with at least $500 million and 230,000 bitcoins, worth about $10 billion today. There are many competing theories as to where she's gone. $10 billion and change is enough money to do pretty much anything and go pretty much anywhere. Some people believe Ignatova changed her appearance with plastic surgery and is living in luxury, possibly in Frankfurt, Germany, under an assumed identity. Others put her in Russia, or possibly Dubai. When testifying at his own trial in 2019, Konstantin Ignatova claimed to have no idea where his sister was, only that the men who met her at the Athens airport spoke Russian. Of course, it's also possible that Ignatova's criminal activity finally caught up with her and she's simply been taken care of, so to speak. Unless she turns up, one way or another, we're unlikely to know for sure. Amazingly, OneCoin continued to operate for another 2 years after Ignatova disappeared, even after her brother had been arrested and her lawyer, Mark Scott, had been found guilty of laundering $400 million of OneCoin's cash. By the end of 2019, the house of cards had finally collapsed. But that won't be the end of this story. As one crypto scam folds, another is bound to take its place. If history has taught us anything, it's that people can't resist a gold rush. Thanks for watching.